Obito's great massacre of the Blood Mist ninjas is one of the turning points of the character and even of the entire Naruto universe, because that's what prompts Obito to change and become what he is in Naruto Shippuden. And it's such an interesting scene from so many different angles. Obito was supposedly dead and they left him, but Obito somehow wakes up and this old man Madara Uchiha is looking over him and trying to tell him, yeah, Obito, the world's pretty damn bad, you know? You should think things through a little bit because it's not gonna work out the way you are. This world will show you what true suffering is. And Obito didn't really listen to Madara. He tried to get better, he tried to strengthen his body to leave the damned cave. And Obito remains that easygoing guy that he's always been. But it all changes when Zetsu delivers the news that Kakashi and Rin are in great danger, and Obito obviously wants to go and help. He even apologizes to Madara saying, thank you very much for saving my life, but I gotta go save my friends now. And Madara says, you will return because your debt isn't yet paid. Obito literally punches the rock of the cave to destroy it and leaves. And then he eventually finds Kakashi and Rin. And what he sees at first is what really shocks him and changes everything for Obito. Kakashi has a Raikiri piercing through Rin's chest, right in front of him. In Obito's mind, Kakashi killed her. Obviously, later we learn that Rin literally jumped in front of Kakashi's Raikiri so that he could kill her, and therefore the Three Tails would rampage on the Leaf Village, but for Obito, I mean, Kakashi just killed Rin, and it doesn't really matter anymore because Obito just wanted Rin to survive, and that was what Obito asked Kakashi to do, to protect her, and Kakashi obviously failed at that. And seeing that obviously angers Obito, and he awakens the Mangekyou Sharingan. It's a very interesting awakening because we see Obito and Kakashi's Sharingan both turning into the Mangekyou pattern at the same time in a very interesting panel composition that Kishimoto creates until they both fully awaken. And another interesting fact here is that Obito and Kakashi's Sharingan were both 2 Tomoe Sharingan. They weren't even full Sharingan yet, and still they went straight from 2 Tomoe to Mangekyou, essentially. I mean, we do see a 3rd Tomoe being created right there, but essentially Obito bypassed the 3rd Tomoe step and went straight from it to the Mangekyou Sharingan because of the amount of anguish he was feeling in that particular moment. It's likely that the entire half of his body made out of Hashirama cells implanted by Madara also strengthened his visual prowess and enabled him to advance his Mangekyou Sharingan much faster. Meaning that, well, because he felt so much pain and suffering in that moment, the Hashirama cell said, yeah, man, you can go straight to Mangekyou, it's alright. Kind of like how they allow Obito in the future to spam his base Mangekyou Sharingan and not go blind, even though he doesn't have an EMS, an Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. Kakashi passes out from the power of the Mangekyou Sharingan, and that's one of the reasons why Kakashi doesn't learn he has the Mangekyou Sharingan for so long, because he literally passed out and wasn't really aware of what was happening. He probably thought that he passed out because Rin had died in front of him and that took a toll on him. But obviously Obito does not pass out and he goes absolutely insane, screaming, and the Blood Mist ninja just look at him and are like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what the hell? Who's this guy? Because think about this for a second here. These are very powerful ninjas when you take the entire Naruto universe into account. They were Anbu members from the Blood Mist Village, a village that's known for their extreme methods of training. Only the strong will survive in the Blood Mist Village, and they are Anbu members of said village. And there's a small army of them. They were facing Kakashi. Obviously, Kakashi and Rin were trying to run away, and it's not Kakashi was fighting against them all at the same time, but Obito just stares them down and it's like, nah, I'm going to destroy you. Being able to fight against such a large number of ninjas is not easy. Even against lesser shinobi, this would already be difficult, but against those types of ninjas, it's gonna be way more difficult. And Obito doesn't seem to be having a lot of trouble in here. I mean, obviously he just awakened the Mangekyou Sharingan. It's a new discharge of chakra that he's never felt before. Something that makes him way more powerful than he used to be. Also, he is wearing Spiral Zetsu around him, which makes him more physically powerful, and has half a body of Hashirama cells. All things that are amping Obito, meaning that with a Mangekyou Sharingan thrown on top of it, this guy is just a complete different beast from what he was before he got crushed by that rock. And then he attacks, and one thing to note is that he starts using Kamui right out of the gate, phasing through everybody. The attacks of the Blood Mist are not working whatsoever, the swords are missing, and Obito is just swinging. Now, he doesn't use Kamui to suck them into the Kamui dimension, because that's something that probably takes a little bit more training, but it very much feels like the phasing is something innate, almost as though he's always known how to do it. Madara himself, after Obito survives, says, "Oh, it's as though he kind of phased through the rocks, isn't it?" But obviously, he didn't have the Mangekyou at that time, he didn't have Kamui, it's just something Madara says as a form of foreshadowing. But in here, he is swinging at the Mist Ninjas, and his taijutsu is strong. Also, his usage of Wood Style is very effective. He is destroying those guys, and Spiral Zetsu himself is very impressed. He even says, "Oh, you're adept at using Wood Style by instinct almost. That's why Madara chose you. You are talented." And that's the thing. Before Obito was going to fight the Mist Ninjas and before he saw Kakashi killing Rin, therefore before he awakened his Mangekyou, Spiral Zetsu said, "You know, I'm stronger than you, so I should probably take charge here, let me handle the situation." And Obito was like, "Yeah, okay, that's alright," but obviously after he awakens the Mangekyou, he becomes far more powerful than Spiral Zetsu could ever hope to be, and then he doesn't even do anything to stop Obito. He's just amping his physical capabilities, really. And this scene is one of the few scenes in the Naruto series that somebody is completely consumed by rage, and there is nothing really stopping them. The only similar situations to that is when Naruto goes ballistic with the Nine Tails, but that's not even Naruto himself doing anything. Obviously, Naruto's powerful emotions are what triggered the Nine Tails going ballistic, but in here, this is just Obito. Yes, he just awakened the Mangekyou Sharingan and he's feeling a lot of hatred and anguish, and that's what the Uchiha clan is known for. They love too much, and when they lose that love, hatred takes place and it comes even greater, which prompts the awakening of the Mangekyou. But even when the Uchihas go insane for a while, they come back to a semi-stable state of mind pretty fast. When Sasuke was laughing at the 5 Kage Summit arc when Kakashi confronted him, he composed himself after the laughter and after a couple of seconds. I mean, Sasuke's mind wasn't really okay in that point because he wanted to destroy the Leaf Village and kill every single inhabitant, but that was his new philosophy. It's not as though he was completely out of his mind, not being able to control his own actions, lashing out against anyone that came close to him. He was still able to hold a conversation, but we see that Obito, when he is massacring the Mist Ninjas, he's not even saying anything. He's just screaming and pummeling. And there's a particular situation there where he starts to pummel down one single Mist Ninja, and the others are just looking at him, and then they lower their swords and just kind of stare, afraid of what Obito was doing, until he turned the guy's face into mush. I mean, we don't see that on screen. It was kind of censored because it would have been way too brutal, but that innocent boy that was Obito is completely destroyed in that moment when he sees Rin dying by Kakashi's hands. And in the end of the fight, when we see Obito completely annihilated the entire platoon without much difficulty, the battlefield has become essentially a lake of blood. It's a very iconic shot when Spiral Zetsu opens its helmet and we see Obito's Mangekyou Sharingan and that single blood splatter on his face from where the blood was coming in, because obviously there's a hole in White Zetsu's mask there so that Obito can see. And then he says that he is in hell. which cements Obito's journey and fall to the dark side. Now, what's even more tragic about this entire situation is that everything was orchestrated by Madara so that Obito could be manipulated into believing in the Infinite Tsukuyomi dream. He was the one who prompted the Mist Village into creating a Jinchuriki by putting the three tails inside of Rin, and he was the one who prompted the Mist Village to let Rin escape to return to the Leaf Village and go ballistic, but obviously he made sure Rin would know about it so she would not want to do that, and then she just threw herself against Kakashi's Raikiri, and Obito was supposed to see that. Why do you think Zetsu was the one who warned Obito about Kakashi and Rin being in danger? It was so that Obito could see his beloved dying by the hands of his best friend. Something that's very earth-shattering. Madara even went as far as to put a seal in Rin's heart to make sure she would fulfill her obligations, and she managed to destroy the seal by shoving herself against Kakashi's Raikiri, which destroyed her heart, which is exactly what Obito does later in the war arc to get rid of his own seal in his heart when Kakashi pierces him with his Raikiri again. And yes, from Obito's perspective, watching Rin dying by Kakashi's hand is terrible. I mean, it would have been terrible for anyone to watch your crush die, killed by your best friend that you actually thought was going to protect her and all that. But as far as Naruto backstories go, this is not the harshest one, not even close. I mean, yes, it's a very traumatic moment, but Obito was about 14 when he saw that happening. He was already older than most characters were when he had to go through terrible stuff in the series. I mean, Sasuke watched his entire family getting killed by his brother when he was 7. It's pretty much Obito's situation here, but amplified 1,000 times, and yes, Sasuke was certainly traumatized by that, and his decisions were all informed by the events that happened during the Uchiha clan massacre, but Sasuke still managed to become a functioning member of society and only deserted when he thought the Leaf Village would no longer give him the strength to get revenge on Itachi. Take a look at even Itachi here. When he massacred the Uchiha clan, killing everybody he loved except for Sasuke, he was younger than Obito was when he saw Rin dying, and I'm sorry, but what Itachi had to go through was thousands of times worse than what Obito had to go through, and Itachi remained strong and still trying to protect Sasuke and the Leaf Village despite everything he went through. I mean, it's very different. Take a look at characters like Nagato also, that watched several friends and beloved people die in front of them. Even Kakashi, who was really, really young when he saw his dad. And yeah, Kakashi did become a little harsh after that. He always wanted to follow rules and stuff, but he didn't try to destroy the world, to cast the Infinite Tsukuyomi. It's a very hard shift from what Obito used to be, and there are two reasons for that. First, Obito was emotionally weakened in that point of the story before he saw Rin dying, because he was crushed by a rock, he watched his friends leaving. Obviously surviving was a boost for his morale because he survived and there was the hope of seeing Rin and Kakashi again, but Madara and Zetsu were also implanting the ideas of the Infinite Tsukuyomi in his mind slowly but surely in that lonely cave. That's the best possible scenario for you to indoctrinate somebody. A person that's been severely wounded, and you literally saved the life of that person. That person will think, you are his savior, you are great. He'll be thankful, he'll try to pay you back for what you did. And Obito had absolutely no contact with anybody else other than the Zetsus and Madara, who were all in the plan. So they could plant the seeds for Obito to explode when he finally sees Rin, the person he loves, getting killed. And also, Obito is not the guy with the best mental fortitude in the entire series, especially when he is Obito Uchiha. When he's Madara, it's pretty much implied he is a method actor, and he embodies Madara Uchiha, therefore he is mentally tougher, he makes tough decisions, he knows what he wants. He doesn't waver, but as soon as he gets unmasked and starts to see his friends from back in the day, Kakashi and Naruto starts to talk to him, he starts to have doubts, and that's what eventually leads him to lose. and then he becomes a good guy again. But all these factors caused Obito to go crazy on the Mist Village there. An extremely violent and cool looking scene. Subscribe if you haven't already, like this video to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. It really does help, and watch this other Naruto video right here, because it's a really good one. Thank you so much for watching.